Dave, thank you. One of our local members of Congress is now closing a district office because of what he says are threats of violence against him and his staff. 2 on Your Side's Ron Plants spoke with him today and looks at what police are doing.
People should be able to, represent their community. My staff should be able to go and do their job without having to deal with issues like this.
The issues, according to U.S. Representative Nick Langworthy, are what he describes as multiple credible threats of violence against him and his staff members, which led him to close down his congressional office in downtown Jamestown. He referenced last year's shooting attacks on Democratic state lawmakers in Minnesota.
Things have to be taken seriously, though. We saw what happened in Minnesota where multiple elected officials were shot in their own homes. This hasn't been an uncommon occurrence for me to have a police presence at my house, unfortunately.
Langworthy says U.S. Capitol Police, who recently opened a new specific investigative office to focus on such threat cases, are now working with local police to find the source of this threat. 24th District Representative Claudia Tenney also temporarily closed some of her congressional offices last winter because of threats and intimidation against staff. And a suspect was arrested in 2021 for throwing a brick through the window of a Corning office for former Congressman Tom Reed. U.S. Capitol Police report that since 2017, threat assessment cases against members of Congress, their families, and staffers climbed significantly and really shot up in 2025 with 14,000 such cases, a 48% increase over 2024. The January 6 Capitol incident and recent elections may have spurred those threats. Members of Congress and their staffers also trained on security awareness, and armed officers and local police sometimes seen at their public appearances.
We have to turn down the volume and turn down the temperature. We have a public dialogue. This is America. You're free to protest. You can disagree. You can, do so in a very public way. That is what the First Amendment's all about. You can't threaten violence.
Representative Langworthy says his staff can remotely handle constituent services in Jamestown. Prosecutors, by the way, reporting last year a 78-year-old Hamburg man faced a 5-year federal prison term and $250,000 fine for threatening a local member of Congress. On Your Side, Ron Plants, Channel 2 News.